إن شاء الله الكورس يكون مفيد لجميع الطلبة وجميع الحاضرين. طبعا الكورس هو يصنف ضمن يعني تعريفي أكثر ما هو يعني advanced، يعني هو for level for beginners. نحاول نسمع الآراء الطلبة بالمواضيع اللي اختاروها، وإن شاء الله تكون ذو فائدة للجميع. الكورس إن شاء الله اليوم مباشر نفس الوقت الساعة 9 مساء. تتفضل دكتورة أمنية بتقديم نبذة مختصرة عن السكجول أوف ذا كورس. تفضل يا دكتورة.
Thank you so much, dear doctor. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Medical Education. Yes, قاعد تسمعني دكتور؟
أي نعم، صوتك واضح.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Medical Education, brought to you by the Medical Education subgroup in RCP London Iraq Network. Today is the first day of our Medical Education Student Perspectives course. After the success of this course last year, we have done it again with 4 elite students from various universities all over Iraq. The objective of this course is to motivate students to talk about important topics in medical education and to be the future leaders that will develop medical education in their country. So to start, 4 elite students from different universities. You can see we have multiple students under the supervision of Dr. Basim Nadir, the supervisor of our medical education subgroup. For day 1, we have many amazing topics. To start off with Dr. Ahmed Mushtaq. Dr. Ahmed is a 5th year medical student from Karbala Medical College. He will talk about mock OSCE exams, how to prepare for them, and how to do them and implement them in our college. Next, we have a lovely Zainab Ali Hussein. Zainab is a 1st year medical student from Al Ain Medical College. She'll talk about AI in medical education and the advances that we are going to see in the technology in the field of medical education. So for our schedule tonight, we will start off with Dr. Ahmed for about 20 minutes, and then we will go to some Q&A discussion, and then back with Dr. Zainab at around 9:40, and then we will close the session at around 10 with your questions and remarks. But before I go, please follow the rules. If you have any question, please type it down in the chat box, or you can raise your hand, unmute yourself, and speak directly with the presenters. Do not concern yourself with the presentations and the files because we will share them accordingly after the session. And of course, we value your opinions and feedback. So stay tuned for the feedback at the end of the session. The team will post it in the chat box. It is important for us to fill our feedback form in order to develop ourselves and continue to provide valuable sessions to you. And of course, follow us on our social media. We will post the links down below in the chat box. Make sure that you follow all of them in order not to miss any of our sessions. And I think that's it for me tonight. Thank you so much, and bye. دكتور أحمد.
تمام، السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام. The floor is yours, Dr. Ahmed.
السلام عليكم. أنا أحمد مشتاق عبد الرزاق. I'm a 5th year medical student from University of Karbala. Today I'll present a presentation about mock OSCE exam. Start sharing my screen.
Yes, please go ahead.
شاشة واضحة إن شاء الله.
Yes.
So let's start. Our objectives today is the definition of the OSCE and comparison between long case examination and the OSCE, definition, benefits, and how to organize mock OSCE exam. From a history background, the objective structure clinical examination was developed in 1975 by Ronald Hardin. Ronald Hardin, a professor of medical education emeritus at the University of Dundee. It was first outlined by Professor Hardin in journal article in a British medical journal called Assessment of a Clinical Competence Using Objective Structured Examination. And this is Uncle Hardin. The OSCE is central to assessing the clinical competence in undergraduate and postgraduate exams for medical and allied healthcare professions. So now we have a comparison between traditional long case examination and OSCE exam. The OSCE exam, the objectivity is more in OSCE exam, while in long case examination, objectivity less. The reliability more in OSCE exam, while reliability is less in long case examination. Fairness is more in OSCE, while fairness less in long case examination. In OSCE exam, mostly there is a simulated patient, while in long case examination, mostly there is a real patient. Stations in OSCE exam can be tailored to the level of skills to be assessed, while in long case examination, there is just a single case to assess broad spectrum of abilities. There is a blueprint checklist in OSCE exam, but there is no blueprint or no checklist in long case examination. The scoring is standardized in OSCE exam, while scoring non-standardized in long case examination. A mock OSCE exam, on other hand, is a simulation of the OSCE and a unique learning experience for examined. The mock OSCE aims to simulate the OSCE. The terms such as mock, formative, simulated are the same meaning. يعني خلينا نكون واضحين، كليات الطب بالعراق نظامها اما كورسات او فصلي سنوي، فامتحان الاوسكي غالبا يكون بنهايه السنه. خلال السنه احنا غالبا ناخذ سكول لابس، كلينيكال سيشنز، نداوم بالريد هات، نتعلم شلون ناخذ how to take history from the patient، نتعلم examination, how approach patient with his symptoms like chest pain, dyspnea, cough. وبالاخير مباشره ندخل للسوميتيف اوسكي. بهاي الحاله راح يكون عندنا هواي اخطاء نرتكبها بالامتحان بسبب الستريس، بسبب الانكزايتي، بسبب انه احنا اصلا ما عندنا، ممكن خاصه بالسنوات الاولى اللي هي البيسك ييرز ما عندنا فد يعني اكسبيرينس ويا الاوسكي اكزام، ما نقدر شلون نتعامل ويا الانفايرمنت مالته. فالفكره من الموك اوسكي انه قبل الامتحان النهائي السوميتيف اوسكي فد بشهر او يعني شهر ونص يصير الموك اوسكي. فراح يسوي فد safe environment to practice to make students practice this knowledge, skills and attitude. راح بهذه الحاله راح يقلل الستريس والانكزايتي. اكثر عامل راح يقلل الستريس والانكزايتي بالموك اوسكي اكزام هو انه ما عليه درجات، ما عليه اي سكور، just for benefits. اوكي ستيشنز هي نفس عدد الستيشنز، وغالبا والافضل انه يكون الاكزامينرز نفسهم. اوكي هو ممكن انه بعض الكليات ما يقدرون انه بالموك اوسكي يخلون الاكسبيرينس اكزامينرز يجون، بس الافضل انه هم يكونون موجودين، راح يحققون فائده كلش عاليه. So the benefits in a variety of ways, from enhancing their time management skills to receiving feedback that can improve their clinical skills. يعني for example بالموك اوسكي ممكن انه تيجي محطه cardiac examination، زين، فيجي الطالب يمتحن على هاي المحطه، راح مثلا يواجه صعوبه فرضا بالاوسكولتيشن، ما راح يسوي الاوسكولتيشن بشكل مضبوط او مثل ما هو مطلوب من عنده، او المانوفر مالته غلط، او فرضا انه الطالب ما يقدر يجاوب بالكلينيكال انتربريتيشنز، زين، فهاي مشكله. بهاي الحاله دور الاكزامينر انه راح يعطي فيدباك للطالب على الويكنس بوينت، وكذلك اذا عنده نقاط قويه راح يوضح له اياها اهمها ويساعده انه يطورها اكثر. راح ينطيه ممكن فد ادفايس معينه، يعلمه الطريقه الصحيحه ويوديه للمكان الصحيح انه يتدرب اكثر، زين، ممكن نوجهه على شكل مصادر يقرا عنه. فبهاي الحاله راح يطلع الطالب من الامتحان عنده فتره معينه يروح يشتغل على نفسه اكثر، يتدرب اكثر، يتعلم الاوسكولتيشن بشكل صحيح، يقرا اكثر عن الكاردياك باثولوجي او كلينيكال سيناريو مالته، فراح يكون عنده قابليه انه يقدر يجاوب على الكلينيكال برزنتيشن، على الكلينيكال انتربريتيشن. اوكي، فمن يجي بالسيوميتيف اوسكي نفس المحطه غالبا راح تيجي بالامتحان، راح يجاوب بشكل جيد، ما راح يكون عنده ستريس انكزايتي، عنده اكسبيرينس شلون يتعامل ويا هاي المحطه، راح يجاوب ويحصل درجات كلش حلوه. But unfortunately, opportunities to participate in simulated OSCE remain limited. Reasons include difficulty in fulfilling organizational requirement and equipment-related cost. Mock OSCE can be set up by undergraduate students and junior trainees for peers without senior supervision or direct guidance. وهي يستخدمها بعض الكليات اللي ما يقدرون يوفرون يعني الاكسبيرينس examiner موجودين. The OSCE brings with it a source of anxiety and stress for students, which can adversely affect the students' performance, mental health, and general well-being. But this can be mitigated by practicing in mock OSCE. It compresses a series of stations. It compresses a series of stations that place examines in different clinical scenarios that require them to demonstrate clinical competencies appropriate for their stage of training. The ultimate objective is to provide The ultimate objective is to provide the examiner with a formative learning opportunity, usually in preparation for summative OSCE organized by their institution. Universities don't always host mock OSCE, and the students may be ill equipped to simulate an OSCE themselves, given the unique organizational challenges and costs involved. Therefore, students may not have opportunities to perform in an OSCE environment other than in summative OSCE itself. And start with how to organize a mock OSCE. We have many tips. Start with tip 1 is define the purpose of your OSCE. The purpose of a mock OSCE is to provide a learning opportunity where weakness can be identified in a safe environment in preparation for the summative examination. In mock OSCE, students should be given an allocated feedback during which examiners can provide advice regarding their performance, and this allows candidates to make suggested changes to their OSCE style and refine skills such as clinical reasoning. The mock OSCE should simulate the summative OSCE as closely as possible. Enforcing a strictly time structure will achieve this aim. Mock OSCE can assist students working under constricted time limits and other scenarios faced in the summative OSCE that contribute to stress and examination pressure. The formative OSCE should be treated as an educational exercise that can increase students' confidence and reduce anxiety. Students should be advised to assure that performance in mock OSCE correlates or improve outcomes in their summative OSCE result. طبعا هنا اكو مشكله ممكن انه الطلاب يواجهوها ان هم ما يحضروا للموك اوسكي، يعني يتحدد الموعد مالته والطالب يجي يمتحن وهو ما قارئ اصلا وما متحضر للامتحان، وبهاي الحاله الفائده مالته راح تقل وما راح يستفاد من التجربه. فالمفروض انه الطلاب يتحضرون للموك اوسكي كانما هو سماتيف اوسكي، يستفادون من الفيدباك اللي راح تنطي لهم ويشتغلون عليها للامتحان. And tip 2 here, form the right team to organize the mock OSCE. Mock OSCE may be organized by students and or junior doctors or university staff. يعني students with junior doctors university staff ممكن يساعدون organization of the mock OSCE. Content designers of their respective stations should ideally be senior clinicians whose specialty reflects the station being tested. For example, a consultant surgeon setting the task for station testing competencies relevant to surgery. And sub-team may be required for securing venues, designing the blueprint of the event, administration, support during the events, and managing fences and subscription to the events. And tip 3 is make the mock OSCE relevant. The mock OSCE should be similar number of stations to summative OSCE, as a greater number of stations improve the reliability of the OSCE results and students may find it more useful. But a mock OSCE should balance this aim with the logistical issues posed by having a large number numbers of stations. Station tasks should be closely derived from examines syllabus, such as basing them upon experience of past summative OSCE stations. Medical students in their clinical years may themselves benefit from helping to create AMOC stations by gaining a deeper understanding of the marking criteria. In any case, an experienced OSCE examiner can provide reliable insight and should be involved in developing the marking guidance. And tip 4, use near-peer examiners. Near-peer examiner opposite to senior lead. Teaching is preferred by medical students and junior trainees. وهذا الشيء صراحة احنا شفناه من بلشت الكليات تعين النيو graduated doctors بصفة معيدين مختبرات المهارة مختبرات التشريح مختبرات الفسلجة هالشيء كلش استفادة منها بحيث أنا المعلومات اللي أخذتهم بالثالث كانوا معيدين علينا لحد الآن أنا أتذكرهم واستفادت كلش من عندهم. لهذا near peer examiners may be easier to recruit than senior clinicians. They can also provide advice and insight in relation to the most up-to-date resources and lessons from their own experiences. Students typically regard junior trainees and senior clinicians as equally important role modules in medical education. Junior trainees want to be involved in more teaching. In certain specialties, trainees prefer more training and teaching as it gives them an opportunity to improve their knowledge, confidence, communication skills, and the most important one is portfolio. So near peers as examiners are also more achievable for organizers. Tip 5 is know what the examiners should assess. Like the actual OSCE, the mock OSCE should examine communication skills, clinical and scientific knowledge, patient safety, and the use of holistic but systemic approach to each scenario. So communication skills transcend the type of station, whether it's an examination, explanation, or other type, and should always be assessed. The student should demonstrate a sound or knowledge base. This serves as a large component of their overall score. As with any form of clinical practice, patient safety should always be at the forefront. It should therefore be assessed in each station. This can include understanding when and how to seek help from senior colleagues, prescribing medicine safely, or inquiring about symptoms that point to emergency situations. Tip 6, and the cornerstone of mock OSCE. It's very, very important. Relay feedback in effective way. Providing feedback to candidates on their performance in the station encourages reflection on the positives and also highlights targets for improvement. So feedback is usually given variably or written. Variable feedback should be given immediately after each station has finished. But a key to improvement in performance is a prompt delivery of written feedback following the exam. So the candidate can see how they performed overall and in the different domains that require improvements. Score sheet can be given to the students at the end of each station or the exam. For both high and low performing or failing candidates, the reasons for their results should be clear, and any areas of improvement should be highlighted. A significant contributing factor to the quality and the quantity of feedback given is the amount of time allocated for writing or relying feedback. Given that feedback is an important aspect of the mock exam process, it's vital to be generous with feedback time, even if it entails having fewer stations to accommodate this. For the students, this will also provide a safe space and time to ask any questions or clarify any concerns. We have seven keys to effective feedback: is non-judgmental, respectful, providing teacher ownership, reflective, timely specific, and and focus on progress and the growth. The most important one is the feedback should be non-judgmental, respectful, and timely. Timely is so important in giving feedback. And tip 7 is choose and employ simulated patient effectively. Simulated patients are commonly used to teach and refine effective communication and the clinical skills in medical schools before handling real-life stations. Sometimes the only source of simulated patient is other medical students. The mock OSCE can be educationally beneficial for all parties involved. For example, junior medical students who volunteer as a simulated patient can learn effective techniques from their peers, especially when paired with an experienced examiner. Senior medical students as simulated patient can revise and gain experience in teaching and providing feedback. These advancing their own personal development and academic portfolio. Simulated patient should not be overburdened. هاي مش يعني simulated patient should not be overburdened. This is to avoid negatively impacting the marking process and reducing its validity. However, simulated patient may comment on examiner behavior such as of empathy. These are promoting a holistic approach to patient care. And tip 8 is make the OSCE accessible for everyone, especially for those that need it most. Oversubscription is a common issue organizers face, particularly for mock exams occurring near the summative exam date. As medical education and the rules of medical educators rapidly evolve, it's important to learn and identify those who may benefit most from these opportunities. Anonymous application form, a tick box for recently filled OSCE, or a short explanation section for priorities could be offered. And tip 9 is make use of technology. The use of laptops or tablets to mark OSCE is replacing the traditional paper-based checklist system, as it's allow for greater quality and quantity for examiner feedback. The students may benefit from this that perform less well. It's a powerful tool in identifying areas for improvement. And mock OSCE are felt by learners to be well-structured and delivered applicable and useful and not particularly stressful. Importantly, it's demonstrate that students on traditional medical course with no previous OSCE exposure and less total clinical exposure respond very well in this type of mock examination, supporting their integration into these types of medical course. I want to suggest a website called Oxford Medical Education Simulated. Its work on may work on visual reality. There are many free videos on this website help you to learn and preparing practicing to your OSCE exam. And when you sign up to this website, you will gain an opportunity to record your practicing and send the video to them. They will give you advice and highlight the weakness point in your skills, and they will help you to improve your skills, and you will be prepared for your simulated OSCE. And lastly, take-home message. Mock OSCE is to provide learning opportunity where weakness can be identified in a safe environment in a preparation for a summative examination. Mock OSCE exam can enhancing their time management skill and receiving feedback that can improve their clinical skills. Should be treated as an educational exercise that can increase students' confidence and reduce anxiety. Mock OSCE should have a similar number of stations to the summative OSCE. A key of improvement in performance is a prompt delivery written feedback for both the high and for the high and low performing or failing candidate, the reasons for their results should be clear and any areas of improvement should be highlighted. Juniors medical students who volunteer as a simulated patient can effective techniques. Can be junior medical students who volunteer as a simulated patient can learn effective techniques from their peers, especially when paired with an experienced examiner. And بالاخير يعني احب اذكر انه تجربتنا الشخصيه والموك اوسكي هي صراحه مو يعني مو فعلا موك اوسكي اكزام، انما احنا كطب كربلاء بالمرحله الخامسه عندنا ينقسم كورس اول ماينر جست انترنال ميديسين ماينرز اند سيرجري ماينرز. بالانترنال ميديسين ماينرز عندنا 6 روتات تقريبا، كل وحده بنهايتها اكو اسسمنت يسوي. طبعا فاريبل اسسمنت ممكن يكون اورال اسسمنت، ممكن يكون يعني نظري معلومات ثيوري زين. بس بالروتة الامرجنسي سووا لنا اوسكي اسسمنت، اوكي كان عليه 20 درجه صراحه، بس كانت تجربه كلش مفيده. سووا لنا الاوسكي كان عباره عن 3 محطات. الاساتذه اللي هم اخصائيين بالامرجنسي ميديسين كانوا هم الاكزامينرز. استفادينا من عندهم، استفادينا من المعلومات اللي قلنا اياها خلال الستيشنز. من اجانا الامتحان السومتيف اوسكي بنهايه الكورس كنا مرتاحين صراحه من الامرجنسي، ما واجهنا ذيك الصعوبه، وتقريبا اذا مو كل فاغلب الطلاب جاوبت يعني الستيشنز بشكل صحيح وحصلوا درجات كلش عاليه بها. بس اذا اكو احد عنده تجربه ويا الموك اوسكي اكزام يقدر يحكي لنا اياها، او اذا عنده سؤال فاحنا حاضرين ان شاء الله.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed, for a valuable presentation. By the way, Dr. Ahmed is a very motivated student and enthusiastic about medical education and curriculum development. Choosing and presenting this topic, Mokoski, is a brave choice, actually, because Mokoskis are just like the formative assessments. They help students to know their weaknesses. They receive feedback. They help them reflect on themselves and to know where to focus on the next step in order not to miss any of their experiences. So I really want to know, because I think we have a lot of stakeholders with us in the meeting. I really want to know how can we implement Mokoskis in real life so that all medical students can benefit from valuable assessments like this. So thank you so much.
Thank you, دكتورة. يعني أنا أتمنى إنه كل الجامعات كل المراحل يكون عندهم موك اوسكي على مود نخلص من الستريس والانكزايتي اللي نواجهها بالسومتيف اوسكي، ونقدر إنه نجاوب بشكل صحيح ونحصل درجات عالية من عنده. لأن صراحة حرامات نتعب هواي خلال السنة، ممكن هفوات بسيطة خلال الامتحان هي اللي تقلل من الدرجات. If there is no questions, thank you for your time, and this is the references.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Ahmed, for your brilliant presentation. Really, it is a very interesting topic. I think mock OSCE is not just important for students. It is most important for new educators, for new medical teachers in every medical school. We have to train every medical teacher on how to take the OSCE exam. It is just not an easy task, because the main aim of the OSCE is to avoid the subjectivity of the examiners. So filling the checklist is one of the main tasks that every teacher should train on how to fill it, to avoid the subjectivity of the long case examinations. Thank you, Ahmed, for your nice presentation. Okay, Umnia.
Yes, everyone, if you have any comments or remarks before we go to the next presentation. Okay, so I think no questions so far. So everyone, we will go to our next presenter, Dr. Zainab. Dr. Zainab Hussein Ali is a first-year medical student, also enthusiastic about medical education and the development in technology. Dr. Zainab will tell us about the AI in medical education, how to employ the use of the modern technology in the development of medical education. Most welcome, Dr. Zainab. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone's having a good time so far. First, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Zainab. I'm a first-year medical student at Al Ain University, and today I'm going to be talking about AI in medical education. Now, AI is artificial intelligence, and my title is going to be The Future of Medical Education, how AI is changing the learning landscape for students. Learning objectives. By the end of this presentation, attendees will be able to define AI in medical education, explain the benefits of AI, provide examples of AI, and understand the challenges of using AI in medical education from a student's perspective. Introduction. As technology advances, so does the way we learn. In the past, medical students would spend hours poring over textbooks, memorizing facts and figures. As medical students, we have a lot of assignments, homeworks, and a lot of quizzes, which makes it very hard for us to memorize all of these things and keep them in mind. But as technology advances and everything now is easier, we can access everything easily and within just a few seconds, which I find, and we find exactly what we're looking for. And this is exactly what artificial intelligence is made for, to facilitate human work and work even smarter and beyond human capabilities. Today, however, there's a growing movement towards active learning. This approach to education emphasizes problem-based learning, case-based learning, which allows students to apply their knowledge to real-world scenarios. Additionally, active learning is supported by artificial intelligence. Now, if you're not familiar with what's the meaning of real-world scenarios, it means like it's existing or occurring in reality. There's no doubt that artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the field of medicine, starting from disease detection, diagnosis, treatment, and care. In the recent years, we have seen a growing number of AI applications in medical education, ranging from educational tools, resources, personalized learning experiences, and as you can see in the chart right here, it illustrates how AI applications in the medical field had witnessed a slight increase over the past few years. Till 2016, it has jumped and has become one of the most used applications ever. Here's another chart, illustrates medical specialists involved in AI over the past few years, as we can see in this chart. And so the last one I viewed just a second ago, we see that AI didn't really catch a big attention, but it started getting the attention it deserves around 2016 and 2016. There was a huge jump, and ever since that, AI became like one of the hot topics and the most important one, especially in education. Here's another chart. In all of these charts, we've just seen like an increase and a big jump around 2016 and 2017 of AI. Now, what's AI? What's the definition of artificial intelligence? It's the ability of a computer program or a machine to think and learn. It also can be described as a way of making a computer system smart, which made it possible for machines to perform some of the tasks previously restricted to humans. AI is not just about making machines that act like humans, it's also making them smarter than humans, which is really cool. Development of tools such as the machine learning has allowed computers to learn from humans, perform some of their tasks, which was later improved with the deep learning techniques, enabling machines to self-learn and manipulate a massive amount of information. Finally, massive amounts of data can now be stored, processed, analyzed, enabling AI to respond to all the new problems. Now, all the new problems can be referred as diseases in the medical field. If you get what I mean. Educational tools and resources. AI can be used to create educational tools and resources such as digital textbooks, adaptive learning platforms, and virtual patient simulations. Here are some of these digital textbooks that really help students for searching. The searching for information is easy. We can add bookmarks to finding the passage later, create personalized notes, highlight any key points and save them for future reference. You know, as a first-year medical student, I use some of these digital textbooks, and I can guarantee you they're lifesavers. Everything's so easy with it. Seems like you're carrying your notes everywhere you go, on your phone, iPad, laptops, and you can access to them easily whenever you want in case you wanted to study or check something. Here's another one. You know, I sometimes see my friends sit next to me in the lectures. They have on their phones and iPads some of these cool 3D anatomy apps, and I have them too. It's like you have a small anatomy lab on your phone to help you study whenever or whatever you want to. Here's another example of them. It's so cool. You can highlight the part that you want to study, and the app is going to give you options below whether you want to isolate this specific part from the rest of the body and study it, preserve it separately. And there's also another option which you can add small yellow arrows that helps you identify the part of the structure. You know, all these facilities make the process of education easier and easier and even more fun. Here's one of the digital textbooks in our anatomy lab that we use when we study. Adaptive learning platforms allow students to learn at their own pace and at their own schedule. This is particularly beneficial for medical students who may have busy schedules and a limited time for studying. Now, many adaptive learning platforms are available at a lower cost than traditional textbooks, and other learning resources making them very affordable option for medical students. Overall, adaptive learning platforms can help medical students learn more efficiently, retain information better, and perform better on exams in their future careers. Now let's talk about virtual patients. The virtual patients as a learning tool is the computer-based simulations of patient cases that are designed to provide healthcare professionals. Virtual patients are a valuable tool in medical education, providing students with more realistic, interactive, and safe clinical experiences that can enhance their learning and prepare them for real-world patient care. Here are some of the examples that I find online during my research. They're really, really cool, I know. Virtual patient simulations are helping to create new opportunities for learning. In addition, virtual patients created with AI can provide a realistic experiences of diseases and medical conditions for training purposes. Now let's talk a little about costs of these virtual patients. Now there are human patient simulators and they can be really, really expensive. Let's get into it. A human patient simulator typically ranges in price from $10,000 to $100,000, depending on the type, brand, features, and including support services. More affordable basic clinical simulators can cost as little as $1,000 for physical weight mannequins that may not move or feel as heavy as the more realistic 5,000 mannequins. Here are one of these very, very expensive mannequins that can facilitate your education. Here's another one. Now I know what you're thinking. Human patient simulators are not typically considered a very good example of AI on their own, as they do not rely on machine learning and other forms of AI to function. However, they may incorporate some of the AI techniques as part of their operations, such as the natural language processing for verbal interaction with medical professionals or computer vision for tracking patient movements. Overall, human patient simulators can be a valuable tool for incorporating AI into medical education, helping to train medical professionals more effectively and improving patient outcomes. Now let's talk a little about personalized learning. AI can be used to create personalized learning experiences for students based on their needs and interests. For example, AI-powered digital textbooks, the one that I've talked about before, can provide personalized recommendations based on a student's needs and interests. AI-based learning platforms can offer tailored content and feedback to help you students improve your performance. Increase access to education. AI can help increase access to medical education by providing educational resources and tools to the underserved populations. Students from the underserved populations are often at a disadvantage when it comes to accessing the latest information and developments in medicine. However, artificial intelligence can help you by providing educational resources and tools to underserved populations. It also improves student outcomes. AI has the potential to revolutionize education by providing personalized feedback, guidance, as well as improve student outcomes. AI can help medical students achieve their full potential. For example, AI-powered tutoring systems can analyze a student's performance on previous assignments and identify areas where they may need extra help. AI can also be used to create customized learning plans for each student based on their individual needs and strengths. AI can be used to provide a real-time feedback on the student's progress, helping them to identify and correct errors more quickly. Now, what's an AI intelligent tutoring system? Well, it's a computer program or a platform that uses artificial intelligence, algorithms, and machine learning techniques to provide human-like lessons without having a human teacher. AI intelligent tutoring system allow you to create a personalized learning experience that provides immediate interaction and feedback to learners, usually without human intervention. The primary goal of AI tutoring systems is to enhance student learning outcomes by providing customized learning experiences that are tailored to each other's needs, preferences, and abilities. Why should we use AI intelligent tutoring systems? Because they can provide you with a human-like learning experiences, they can provide personalized feedback, can host multimedia learning, encourage self-paced learning, constantly develop and evolve to better serve learners. Now let's talk a little bit about the benefits of AI in medical education. AI can provide several benefits in medical education, such as allowing students to learn at their own pace, providing a real-time feedback on performance, improving clinical decision-making, as well as reducing errors, which is the most important, definitely the doctor. AI can also help medical educators create more efficient and effective learning experiences for students. Now, let's talk a little bit about ChatGPT, which is one of the most important examples of AI in medical education, and I personally used it and it helped me a lot and it saved me a lot of time. Honestly, a lifesaver. What's the ChatGPT? It's an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI. It's a large language model, can understand natural language and generate responses based on the input that it receives, designed to have a human-like conversations without having people. Why we should use ChatGPT, especially as students? Because it saves you time, it's helpful for new ideas, one-step manager, multiple language enabled, because of the technical abilities that it has, remembers previous information to plans appropriate requests. Now I have a story time. I'd like to tell you about someone who used ChatGPT and has helped them a lot to make the right decision about some sort of case in the clinic. And let's get into it. So I received this letter from a dentist who used ChatGPT to diagnose a problem that he and his colleagues couldn't. He said in his letter, "I'm a dentist and started using ChatGPT less than a week ago. I saw a case in the clinic for a patient complaining of pain in the back of the upper jaw. I examined him clinically and found no reason for the pain. He also took x-rays and they were very normal, and there was nothing suspicious about them. So I entered all the data into the ChatGPT, and he suggested that I do a CT scan for that area. Now I followed his words, and he did a CT scan indeed, and found inflammation in the bone between the roots. The three of the last molars did not appear in the normal range because the roots covered it. After that, said the dentist, he believed in the capabilities of artificial intelligence." Now, how can AI help me as a medical student? This is one of the biggest questions. It can help me with medical image analysis. AI can help medical students learn how to interpret medical images such as x-rays, MRIs, and CT scans with AI-powered images analysis tools, students can receive a real-time feedback on their interpretation, which can help them improve their diagnostic skills. Now, virtual patient simulations, research and analysis, AI can assist medical students in conducting research and analysis on medical data. Here are some of the brain CT scan templates. These are called as AI-powered images of the brain. Here's another one. AI can offer fast and reliable examination to COVID. And this is actually an X-ray, an AI-powered images of a patient who has COVID in Tokyo. And this is like a pneumonia and chest radiography compared with formal radiology reports. I think it's very awesome. Here's another one. And now I'm going to be talking about the challenges of AI in medical education. While AI has the potential to revolutionize medical education, there are also concerns about its impact on the role of educators, the quality of education, and the potential for bias and ethical issues. It is important to address these challenges and ensure that AI is used in responsible and ethical manners. Future of AI. The use of AI in medical education is still in its early ages, but it has the potential to transform the way we teach and learn in medicine. As AI technology continues to advance, we can expect to see more sophisticated and innovative applications in medical education. Medical educators and institutions can adapt to the changing landscape for medical education with AI by incorporating it into their curricula, investing in AI research, and providing training for faculty and staff. While AI can enhance medical education, it is important to strike a balance between using AI and traditional teaching methods to ensure that students receive a comprehensive and well-rounded education. Finally, we've come to the conclusion of my presentation. The aim of this presentation was to explore the impact of AI in medical education and its benefits for students. Now, I chose this topic because I'm passionate about the potential of AI to transform medical education. And as a first stage medical student, I'm excited to learn more about how AI can personalize learning experience and help me become a better doctor, of course. Here are some of the pictures when the RCP team visited us in our university. It was really fun and exciting day. Here's another picture of me talking. It's not really one of the best pictures of me, but no judging here. Thank you. Finally, it's come to the thank you. I'd like to thank Prof. Dr. Hilal Safar, and I also like to thank Dr. Basim for his precious notes. Really, I couldn't thank you enough. And lovely Dr. Amnia, thank you so much. Like the RCP team, you guys are angels. Thank you to the president of Al-Ain University, Prof. Dr. Shafiq Shafir. Thank you to Prof. Dr. Adnan Ta'an, the Dean of our Medical College, for always encouraging medical students, especially us, for such activities and always showing support whenever we need it. Thank you so much. A special thanks to the head of the medical education unit at Al-Ain, Dr. Omar. Thank you so much. Thanks to Dr. Mobar, and thank you so much. This is the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zainab, for an amazing session. Seeing a medical student at this earlier age talking about a huge and very important topic like advances in technology and the use of it in medical education is very promising. I am very hopeful that our future will be bright because we have intelligent students just like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your support, dear doctor. Any questions, guys?
Everyone, any more comments or remark for Dr. Zainab? Yes, Dr. Jafar, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Hi. Thank you, Zainab, for all of this. Just I wanna note something beginning of your presentation is that the few first topics or few first examples you gave, I don't think they were very much AI related. Most promising was for example, the Seaman or the simulation mannequin. It's more or less a human doctor related, and an examiner would be controlling the findings in the Seaman. The tutoring program was a bit new to me, but the AI programs are quite promising. They are indeed. I have a question really for everyone. What do you think AI can be in medical practice? How can its use or its use be medical practice? Can it be used easily at the meantime?
Thank you for your question. I think we can use AI for the human patient simulators. I know they're not typically considered as good example of AI, but because they do not rely on machine learning and other forms of AI, but they can help. We can incorporate some of the AI techniques as part of their overall operations, like the way such natural language processing for virtual interaction with medical professionals. But in case you're wondering, how can I use AI right now as a medical student, where some of the examples I mentioned earlier is the ChatGPT. It has helped me so much as a medical student in the process of making this presentation. I think it would help my colleagues in making any other presentation or their studies. You know, it can save you a lot of time instead of searching for articles like hours and hours. I can just type in whatever I want, and within a few seconds I get whatever I want. You know, if you get it.
So my question was actually how to use AI in medical practice rather than education as well. I know the entire webinar is about education, but of course education leads to practice later on. I'm more of a person who I'm not really experienced in using chats, AIs. I know they are very interesting, really. However, I would very much like to know the disadvantages of using them, and I can very much think of the unspecificity of the results that it can give. However, so the main question was the use of AI in medical practice, and it's like how can it be used as easily as we think?
Thank you so much, Doctor. I think Dr. Omar will answer this question about the use of AI in medical practice. Dr. Omar, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Omnia, for giving me the chance to talk, and thanks, Dr. Jafar, for the question. It's generally, like I think Zainab's talk was about the AI in medical education, but it's really nice to ask such a question about the medical practice. So over the next like 10 to 15 years, I think AI would develop and it will help medical practitioners very well, like for the diagnosis of the diseases and so on. So, and right now there are extensive research focusing on how to use AI to help medical practitioners, for example, or healthcare professionals to tackle diseases or stuff like this. So yeah, I think it's going to be very beneficial for doctors. It's going to help them refine their patients and decide which one needs the quick attention or quick medical attention, for example. And the other thing, for example, in radiology, for future, we will get AI tools that would help us to read the report instead of a doctor going there and for example, reading the report for the patient. So yeah, I think AI would have an extensive impact on the medical practice. It's going to help doctors to, as I said, refine the patients and decide who needs the quick attention, and it's going to facilitate their work. And yeah, of course, I hope I satisfied your question. If you can ask more, I'm happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much for that. It is indeed very fascinating to think about AI shortening lots of our time. The problem with AI, as I think, is that the amount of data you need to give it in order for that AI to generate the really specific diagnosis or the really specific medication change or whatever alteration in your patient you want to give. And for my practice, I've noticed that the most problematic thing is that it takes a lot of time itself if you want to take a thorough history and thorough exam. So I'm just imagining that it does need a lot of work in the future for the AI to be as specific with the least amount of informations needed, just like an experienced doctor would. Anyway, thank you very much for the answer.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you very much. And just one point, just to mention one thing, like for example, right now they are developing what we call it a chat doctor, and this actually, like let's say software or whatever or AI tool, it takes the information of the patients, it's process it, and it gives you the diagnosis. There is so much research in this field, and yeah, as you said, there's a bias, there's something they're working on it, and as just like ChatGPT, for example, it's a large language model. Like you feed it with a lot of data, let's say billions and billions, and then it's gonna decide or do its work. The same thing gonna happen over the next 15 years or 10 years. They're gonna make like large language models and directed towards like the medical like practice, like specific
Dr.
AI,
Omar,
for example.
if
Yeah,
you
that's all.
if you allow me to talk a little bit.
Yep.
I think AI can provide you with a more personalized and interactive learning experience. It just helps you to gain a valuable practical experience and provide you with the useful decision-making tools, which can be like very cool for medical students.
Thank you so much for the valuable questions, but I just wanted to add something. We all agree that in the upcoming future, the artificial intelligence and technology will be a big part of our lives. And we've seen this because back 2 years ago, when COVID hit all the universe, so we saw how the technology salvaged the learning a bit in regard to like 10 or 20 years ago when there was no technology advances like today. So don't you think that we need to incorporate the studies of computer science or artificial intelligence and coding in medical schools? Because if I want to graduate a student who won't be able to use these technologies and employ them for the healthcare development, so what will be the purpose of teaching them? So what do you think about that?
I think definitely we can learn more about it, but I'm only a first year medical student.
Yes, I know you're like a motivated students who wants to know more and is taking part of their time to develop their skills. But don't you think that we need a structured training for such?
Of course. I think I've mentioned it earlier in my presentation. I think we need to train starting from my colleagues, medical students, and the faculty staff. AI is not just about using the robot itself, it's about using your brain as well. So we mix these two powers and we make a great thing. You get my idea?
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone, if you need to add any more comments or remarks to Zainab's presentation, just before that, please, we have added the feedback form in the chat box. So kindly go there and submit your feedback. It is important for us to develop ourselves. Thank you so much again. Okay, so I think there is no more questions for you, Zainab. Thank you so much for an amazing night. Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed, for your presentation. And everyone, thank you so much for attending and listening and interacting with us tonight. Please stay tuned for tomorrow's session. We will be completing the presentations with two more elite colleagues, one from the south and one from the middle. So stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you the topics. So see you, inshallah, tomorrow at the same time, 9 o'clock, but that local time. Thank you so much.